Hey guys, this here is the second helmet of two that I purchased about a week ago at an antique store. The first one I just made a video on is my Japanese Type 90 helmet. I got that one and this helmet here for together for $120, basically $80 for the Japanese helmet, and this one was $40. And this one's actually kind of a special helmet and kind of unique, and I'm excited to have added this to my collection as well. This one, I call it my World War I British/American helmet. And the reason is because this helmet was actually made in 1916 at, let me see if I can get to pull up, if I can get to focus here, at the Burries and in Sheffield, England in 1916. It's a British Mark I design helmet. And the reason I consider it an American helmet as well is, World War I started in 1914, but, Americans, we didn't get involved until 1917. And it was around April or so, we Americans got involved, but the thing was, a lot of the other countries were going to steal helmets. And, the Americans, we didn't have any readily available, any produced for our soldiers. And so what we did is we basically copied the design of the Mark I British helmet, and we started making the model of 1917 helmet. But while we started producing, our own version, we needed helmets for the troops that were already, overseas. And so what we did was we purchased, there was 400,000 approximately British Mark I helmets that were readily available. And so the Americans purchased those and issued those 400,000 helmets to American soldiers that were already overseas fighting. And so this, like I said, is a British-made helmet, but it was issued to an American soldier during World War I, which I thought is, that's really cool. And only one of, 400,000. And one thing, a lot of people are kind of curious as to what the difference is, or some differences as far as like a British-made World War I helmet and an American-made World War I helmet. And one thing is this right here. As most of you guys know, with the American, the model of 1917 helmets and even like the M1 helmets, the American helmets have the seam that, just meet. Whereas, if I can get this to pull up, this is a British-made one, and it actually overlaps right here to about where my thumb is. You can see the seam right there. I'm trying to get it to come into view the best I can, but it meets basically, or they don't actually meet in the middle like the American helmets. You see in the middle of the screen there is one end of the rim, and then where my thumb is where the other end. They overlap. So that was one of the major differences with, the American-made helmets and the British ones as well. And then when we turn it here on the inside, you can see this liner here. This is an American liner, so it's a steel, it's a British Mark I helmet, but it's got an American liner in there. And what it is this liner is actually a replacement. This liner is for a model of 1917 A1, which replaced the model 1917 American helmet. They started making the A1s around 1939. And, it's a whole different liner system. And it's also got, the different chin strap, which I've only got half of. See, it's got the brass buckle with the raised bar right there. Like I said, this more than likely was done around 1939 to maybe 1941-ish. Because in 1941, they started replacing the model of 1917 A1s with the M1 helmets, as a lot of us are familiar with. But it took until around summer of 1942 to actually get the M1 helmets issued to the soldiers that were overseas and everything. But this helmet it's just really neat, and I think it's got a really cool story with it. Overall, it's in pretty good condition. Just some light rust here and there. And the inside's not, it's not that bad. Pretty much most of the liner is gone, but, the frame's there and half the chin strap. Like I said, it was made at Burries, or however you pronounce it. I'm not exactly sure about that. I apologize, but, like I said, the Americans, we copied the British design, the Mark I, and we ended up producing, it was around 2.7 million of the model of 1917 helmets by the time the war ended, around the end of 1918, around November 1918. Americans had produced about 2.7 million of them. But like I said, this is one of 400,000 approximately that were, British made, purchased by Americans and issued to American soldiers. Just has the replacement liner, done late 30s to early 40s. But anyways, this is, like I said, one of 2 helmets that a man held for me. This one has a unique history with it. I think it's really cool. I'm glad to be able to add it to my collection, But I just wanted to share it with you today. Like I said, if you haven't checked out my Japanese video, please check out that one. The helmet I got, like I said, same time with this. Really neat. Both of them were neat additions to my collection. And I'm so thankful that man, held on to them for me. But anyways, guys, as always, thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Thanks.